Hello everyone. Today I will be talking about the historical development of microbiology, a fascinating journey that shows how our understanding of microscopic life evolved from imagination to scientific reality. Microbiology has shaped medicine, agriculture, and even space research. Let's explore how it all began. Introduction. Microbiology is the study of organisms too small to be seen with the naked eye, such as bacteria, fungi, protozoa, algae, and viruses. It helps us understand how microbes affect life, health, and the environment. By tracing its history, we can appreciate the efforts of scientists whose curiosity and experiments built the foundation of this field. Early ideas and speculation. Before microscope existed, people could only imagine the cause of diseases. Ancient scholars like Marcus Terentius Varro suggested that tiny invisible creatures in swamps could cause illness, an idea far ahead of its time. However, many still believe in spontaneous generation, the idea that life could arise from non-living matter like maggots forming from decaying meat. This belief dominated for centuries until scientific experiments began to challenge it. Invention of the microscope. The real story of microbiology began in the 17th century when Antony van Leeuwenhoek, a Dutch tradesman, crafted powerful simple microscopes. Through his lenses, he saw a world no one had seen before: tiny moving animalcules in rainwater, pond water, and even in scrapings from his teeth. He carefully described these microorganisms in the letters to the Royal Society of London. That was the first time humanity actually saw the microbial world, making Leeuwenhoek the father of microbiology. Here on the slide is the first microscope made by Antony von Leeuwenhoek. Debate on spontaneous generation. For a long time, scientists debated whether microorganisms could appear spontaneously. In 1668, Francisco Redi disapproved this theory for larger organisms by showing that maggots only appeared when flies could lay eggs on meat. Later, Lazarus Pellegrini showed that boiling broth and sealing it prevented microbial growth. Finally, in 1860s, Louis Pasteur's famous swan neck flask experiment proved that microorganisms came from the air, not from spontaneous generation. This ended the centuries-old debate. On the slide, you can see the Swan-neck experiment of Louis Pasteur, in which we can see that boiling broth kills the microorganisms, hence there are no appearance of maggots in the flask. Golden Age of Microbiology. Between 1850 and 1900 came the Golden Age of Microbiology. This period saw major discoveries that transformed science and medicine. Louis Pasteur developed vaccines for anthrax and rabies and introduced pasteurization to prevent spoilage. Robert Koch identified the bacteria causing tuberculosis and cholera and developed techniques for growing pure bacterial cultures. Ferdinand Koch classified bacteria by shape. Together, their work gave microbiology a strong scientific foundation. Germ theory of disease. Before the 1800s, people believed diseases came from bad air or miasmas. The germ theory of disease, proposed by Pasteur and proved by Koch, stated that specific diseases are caused by specific microorganisms. This changed everything. Doctors began sterilizing instruments, hospitals improved hygiene, and scientists developed vaccines and antibiotics. It was the moment when microbiology became vital to human health. Emergence of microbiology branches. As knowledge grew, microbiology branched into special fields. Virology studied viruses, microbiology focused on fungi, parasitology on parasites, and industrial microbiology explored how microbes could benefit humans. The invention of the electron microscope in the 1930s allowed scientists to see viruses for the first time. Later, genetics and molecular biology further deepened our understanding of microbes. Key tools and techniques. Microbiology advanced with new tools and methods. Staining techniques like the gram stain help identify bacteria. Agar plates and aseptic techniques allowed pure cultures to grow without contamination. Light microscopes evolved into electron and fluorescence microscopes, revealing the tiniest cellular details. Later, molecular tools like PCR and DNA sequencing opened new doors for microbial identification and genetic studies. Modern era, genomics and biotechnology. In recent decades, microbiology entered the molecular and genomic era. Scientists now study entire microbial genomes, discovering new species and understanding microbial communities through metagenomics. Research on the human microbiome shows how microbes influence digestion, immunity, and even mood. Biotechnology uses microbes in genetic engineering like CRISPR, which was discovered from bacterial defense systems. Microbiology now impacts almost every branch of science. Applications of microbiology. Microbiology is everywhere in our lives. In medicine, microbes help produce antibiotics and vaccines. In agriculture, they improve soil fertility and act as biopesticides. In industries, they are used in making cheese, yogurt, bread, and biofuels. In the environment, microbes clean oil spills and decompose waste, processes known as bioremediation. All these applications trace back to the historical discoveries of early microbiologists. Challenges and future. Despite progress, we still face challenges like antibiotic resistance, emerging infectious diseases, and climate change affecting microbial balance. Future microbiology aims to explore synthetic biology, engineer beneficial microbes, and harness them for sustainable technologies. We have come a long way, but the microbial world still holds many secrets waiting to be uncovered. To summarize, microbiology developed through several stages: speculation in ancient times, discovery through microscopes, experiments disproving spontaneous regulation, the golden age of Pasteur and Koch, and finally the molecular and genomic revolutions. Each step built the foundation for the next, showing how curiosity and perseverance turned invisible life into one of the most powerful scientific fields in today's world. References. This presentation is based mainly on Pelzar, Chan and Craig, Microbiology, Prescott, Hurley and Klein, Microbiology, and additional verified sources like Britannica and Microbe Notes. Thank you for listening. I hope this presentation helped you appreciate the wonderful history and importance of microbiology.